Okay.
Are we live? Oh, yes. Okay, Assalamualaikum dan selamat sejahtera semua. Okay, hari ini hari ke-6 Microsoft Drive-thru virtual event untuk student track. Okay, so the topic for today is on how to create an interactive Buncee in Microsoft Teams. So we have Ida here from Buncee. Okay, she will be our speaker for today's afternoon. Okay, so before we proceed to our webinar, okay, let us see about the housekeeping rules first. Okay, so if you want to post questions or comments, you can do it so in the Q&A. Okay, so this session will be recorded. Okay, the recording will be uploaded in the Lima portal. So during this session, okay, I will share the attendance form to you. Okay, so please participate in the activities during live session to win prizes. Okay, so you can join this live event via Teams desktop apps or mobile apps. Okay, so disclaimer, when you join this live event, your name, email address and or phone number may be viewable by other session participants in the attendee list. By joining, you are agreeing to this experience. Okay, so during this session, okay, you can stand a chance to win this awesome and beautiful Microsoft backpack. So only students will have the chance to win this one. So this session we will choose 5 participants. Okay, so at the end of this session, okay, I will spin the wheel here. Okay, so if you are one of the lucky winner, okay, please respond, ya saya menang, or you can write down in the Q&A, yes, I'm the winner. Okay, so before we proceed, okay, this is the attendance form for today's webinar. Okay, you can open the browser and put in the link here, http bit.ly/studentstrack day 6. Okay, so I will put this link inside the Q&A in the Q&A space. Okay, so without further ado, I will continue this session. I will invite today's speaker, Ida from Buncee. Okay, I will pass it to you, Ida.
All right, thank you. So hello and welcome to everyone. My name is Ida Gimenez, as we may know. So today what I'm really excited to share about is how you can actually use Buncee to create fun and engaging assignment submissions for your class with your teachers, and at the same time use it with Microsoft Teams. And so this is going to be a very interactive session where we're going to talk a little bit more about, you know, different ways that students are using it, whether they're in the K through 12 sector or even in higher ed. And this will be a fun and interactive session. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead, share my screen, show you a few different examples of Buncees and what they look like, and we'll dive in soon after to actually create a Buncee of our own. And so with that being said, let me go ahead and share my screen. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. We'll be answering the questions all throughout. So yes, here we go. So you should be able to see my screen. So as I had mentioned very briefly in the beginning, Buncee is what we call a very creative content creation platform. So with this platform, you're able to create a lot of fun, engaging, visually appealing, different graphics, really with the aim to be able to make your content submissions for your projects, your assignments, much more fun and interactive. So before we dive into creating these different Buncees, I'm going to show you what other students are actually, how other students are actually using the tool. So the first one of which is I'm excited to share some of the examples that some other students in Malaysia have actually submitted for World Space Month for one of the challenges that we had done. And so this is one of the challenges that we had done where students actually created Buncees about what they learned about space, the innovation behind it, and then shared these Buncees as part of the challenge to win different awards. And so as I pull it up on the screen right over here, so you'll see this is a little bit of a tutorial that we had on that. But as the overall submissions load, you'll see that there are a lot of different Buncee creations that different students have actually made. And the idea here is to make your creations a lot more fun and engaging, especially as you want to submit them to your teachers. So this is an example of one of the Buncees that some students have actually created to make it a lot more interactive, their submissions for their project. So you'll notice right over here that they're researching a little bit about the black star. These different graphics are things that you'll find in the Buncee creation platform. And just to quickly scroll through, so you'll see that it's a lot more of a fun, interactive. You get access to a lot of different graphics. Those includes like animation, stickers, and you'll be able to use all of this different media to be able to submit your work to your teachers. So this is just a very quick example of what a Buncee is. So this is just one example, and let me show you a few other ones. So similar topic where some students actually created their Buncee projects to submit for the space challenge. This is another one where another group actually created this. So what you'll notice is all of the different media is pulled right from Buncee, immediately very fun for you to be able to create these projects. At the same time, just going through the different pages, you'll also notice that you'll be able to also add different animations as well as embed different videos. So it's a great way for you to be able to represent your learning to your teachers and really demonstrate that you're understanding what you're learning. So you'll be able to play different videos in it. So it's a lot of fun to create these different Buncees. So I'm just going to click through, and so you'll see very interactive as a project submission. But other quick examples that we'll show is some other students are actually using the tool not just to, create projects around a different challenge, but some of them are actually using it to get even more creative and even use it to create their own digital stories and demonstrate their own ability to be an author themselves. So this is just an example of where some students are using it to create their own digital stories. We'll click right through, but this happens to be about milk. So you'll notice that you'll be able to pull in the different media and get as creative as you'd like to be able to create your own story. So all of these are different stickers that you'll be able to access from the Buncee platform. You'll notice that you can create your own comic strip if you'd like, but there's a lot of different ways that you can piece together all of these different media to be able to create your fun and interactive projects. So this happens to be, again, a digital story. So other quick projects that we're going to go show through today is this is another project just created by another high school student. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use Buncee. So this is where a student actually used it for one of her writing projects to make it a lot more fun for her teachers to be able to, review her work with. So this is where she, Ashi, had actually looked up some of the inventions of the world and decided to write a little bit more about them and what their significance is to society. So she pulls up the different graphics from Buncee. So you'll notice that you'll be able to search the web using the tool. And at the same time, she's using it to actually write about some of the research that she's come across in her work, which is for agriculture, and really try to dissect that research and figure out ways to sort of uninvent it, really with the ambition to tell her teachers why some of these innovations may be a challenge for our society rather than just really fully an improvement. So another creative way that this student was representing her understanding to her teacher. But just quickly, so I want to really focus in on creating some Buncees. So here are just a few other quick examples of what other students are using the tool for. So you can also use it to also create your own recipe books. A lot of different creative projects that you can use Buncee for. So this is another project where another student was actually using it to create a recipe book with her mother. So you'll be able to represent using the different graphics in Buncee to write about, some of the things that you'd like to cook, the culture behind that recipe, as well as, really demonstrate what you've been able to cook with your family or just at home. So another fun project to show. But other things is that aside from being able to create your work on Buncee for your school, just know that you can actually use this for a lot of different personal things if you'd like to. So it's a great tool to be able to use beyond the classroom. So this just happens to be an example where you can even use it. A lot of people are using it to create scrapbooks or photo books as well. So this happens to be for the holiday. What other people are also doing, this happens to be my own, but you can also create like an entire book using the tool. So here are more graphics that are pulled from Buncee. You can actually piece these together as much as you'd like. So you have a lot of creative opportunities to be able to, create your own work. You'll notice that, I have a lot of different pages in this book, but this happens to be a scrapbook that I created. So you have the ability to add different graphics. So you'll notice that you can actually add your own GIFs into your Buncee to make it a lot more fun and interactive. You could go through, add more images. And what you'll notice is that as you scroll through this, you'll be able to see that there's a lot of different fun ways that you can just represent information, whether you want to use it for your classroom instruction or for your own personal projects. So there's a lot of different ways for it. But lastly, before we actually dive into our actual task for today or our challenge, I just want to highlight a few other ways that students are using it. So some of our students are using it as an advocacy tool to really talk a little bit more about different challenges that they're seeing in society and really advocate for different solutions. So these are some of our high school students that are actually using the tool to talk about, World Humanitarian Day. So sharing a little bit more about why other students should get engaged with it, especially if you are a student that really likes to talk about different challenges and encourage your fellow peers to be able to get engaged. So this is just another example. And last one that I'd like to share about is another challenge or foundation that was created by our students using Buncee to really talk about different ways that they'd like to solve some of the sustainability challenges that they're seeing in their communities. So these are created by two different students that are actually siblings, and they created this foundation called the Together We Can Youth Foundation, where they use Buncee to really, again, show talk about different sustainability challenges that they're seeing in their community. These are the different students, so you'll notice in this Buncee that they're including more information about them. So it's great for project-based learning. You'll see that they are talking about the organization that they've created and who their mentors are. But as you go through the different pages, you'll see in this Buncee that they're also using the tool as a way to represent what they're learning in their class and how they're applying it to the real world, which is to solve some of the sustainability challenges that they're seeing in their community, which happens to be in India. So you'll see they're uploading their different images of what they've, some of the sustainability challenges, in particular with conservation. So you'll notice that they're uploading some of the ways that they're trying to solve this conservation challenge that we're seeing. You'll notice that they're including information about their research and some of the projects that they're doing at home. So it's a great way for you to also develop your own portfolio to submit to your teachers to be able to demonstrate what you're learning at home as well, especially if you're doing it for science. And so these were different examples of how students are using the tool to, demonstrate their learning, whether it's for writing, for literacy, or for creative expression. But at the same time, we also just covered some ways that you can use it beyond the classroom itself. So a lot of different creative ways for you to create your own Buncee. And so with that being said, for today's session, we're actually going to go ahead and create a Buncee of our own. And what I want to do is challenge you to actually take part in our postcard challenge with your teachers to be able to look into different regions around the world. And what I want to encourage you to do is, after this session ends, partake with your teacher to create a postcard about a place, anywhere in the world. It could literally be somewhere next door to the city that you live in, or maybe a place that's all across the entire your entire country. And what I want you to do is think about these different places around the world and respond to these 3 different prompts. And you're going to do this with your teacher in mind. So what you're going to do is create a Buncee about a society or a place that you pick anywhere in the world. You're going to design that place on a Buncee, and then you're going to respond to these different prompts, which is, why did you pick this location that you did? And at the same time, what innovation can you bring into this area to make it a lot more sustainable? And so these are your different prompts, and I encourage you after the session ends to get in touch with your teacher to be able to submit to this challenge. And so I'm just going to take a moment to bring you to the front here so that you'll be able to see the information. But when this session ends, take an image or a screenshot of this Buncee itself, scan the QR code, or otherwise access this link, which is bit.ly/BunceePC challenge. And this is how you'll be able to ask your teacher to read more about this challenge and at the same time submit your work as part of it. And with that being said, your teachers will then have the opportunity to win a gift card for your class to be able to use. So with that, let's go ahead and actually do this challenge together for this session. And so I'm going to go ahead and head to my Buncee account. So if you would like to get started with this activity yourself, we're going to walk through how to create your own Buncee, then share it to Microsoft Teams. But you can go to buncee.com, that's buncee.com, and you'll be able to sign up for your account there. But otherwise, once you log into your account, this is what it will look like. So there's a lot of different tabs for you to focus in on, but the one I want you to zone in on is the Buncees tab. So on the top left hand of your screen, you're going to press Buncees. And when you click on Buncees, it'll bring you to this area, which is where you'll find your other Buncees. And you're going to press on the button that says create a new Buncee. And so when you press create a new Buncee, this will actually take you to first of all, your templates library. So while we're going to talk about this challenge, I'm just going to walk you through a little bit of how to navigate the tool. So the templates library is where you can actually create your Buncees using a template, of course. We have we have thousands of templates that are accessible to you. So of course, well, for this challenge, we're going to actually create one for the postcard challenge. But at the same time, when the session ends, if you're interested to figure out, or get inspired by other ways that folks are using the tool, you can go ahead and search the templates library for more inspiration. You could see how people are using it, to create different awards, birthday cards, greetings, or even for posters to decorate their room. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use a Buncee. But for this session, we're going to go ahead and actually create a Buncee of our own. So I'm going to X out this templates library by pressing the X button here. And this will take you to the actual Buncee creation canvas. So your creation canvas is a blank canvas, so you could feel as artistic as you'd like to fill it in. So to respond to today's prompt, right, part of the challenge was that we want to think about a place somewhere around the world that is, significant to us and research about that place and tell why we're wanting to innovate that area. So I happen to be from the Philippines. So what I actually want to do is create a Buncee about the Philippines in this example here. And actually then answer the prompts. So what we're going to do is design our Buncee. So before we get started, let me walk you through what you see here. So now that we're on our blank screen, if you're interested to go back to, see different templates of what people are creating, you could press the templates button, or you can go ahead and get started by either clicking to change a background or adding your first item. So let's go ahead and think about the Philippines. So for me, I want to think about one of the islands that I like, which happens to be Palawan. So I want to actually use Buncee to design an island which is in the Philippines. So I'm going to go ahead and press change a background or add my first item. So when I press add my first item, this will actually take me to a lot of different media, like you've seen in the other Buncee examples, that you can pick from to design your own area. So what you'll notice here, you can add text, you could add shapes, you could add drawings. You can also add 3D graphics, animation stickers. You can also search from the web. So right in the center here, you could search images from the internet. You could search panoramic images. You can also search YouTube videos like you've seen in the other Buncee examples. Or you can add a personalized touch and record your own video. You could take photo. So there's a lot of different media options for you to pick from to be able to create and express your learning. So since we're talking about, creating an island, what I'm going to do is actually search different graphics to be able to pick from. So to do that, what you're going to see right over here is the search field. So you're going to type in a search term. I'm going to search field because we're going to create our own island. So what you'll notice is that as you search different keywords in that area, you'll be able to see different relevant graphics to that search term. So I'm going to go ahead and select one. So once you select it, you can actually just select it and drag it right in. And you'll notice it's really, really simple for you to actually start adding different media into your tool. So let's go ahead. I'm going to be able to resize any graphics that I add. So you'll notice that if I select the red circles on the corner of my Buncees, it'll allow me to resize it. I'm just going to change my canvas screen. So you'll see that I'm able to resize images. I can move it around very easily. But now that we're designing our own island, let me go ahead and add some more media to it. So if you'd like to add more media, what you're going to do is go to the right-hand side and press the plus sign. So when you press the plus sign, this will take you back to all of those different media options. And you're going to be able to search again for more graphics. So let's go ahead and do that. So in my island, of course, I have water. So I'm going to search water for to represent my island. So now that I've searched it, it's going to come up with, more different visuals that represent it. I could look around, you'll see that there's like whales that are also part of the water. There's coral reef. So there's a lot of different graphics for you to pick from. So we're just going to look through to sort of see what we like that matches up to our design. And I see this one is a little bit of a wave. So I'm going to go select this graphic and then I'm going to drag it right in. And I think earlier I saw a boat, so I'm actually going to go select that boat as well. So when you are looking for these graphics, you can actually select one or multiple graphics to pick from. And then again, just drag it right in to the tool. And so once you've added that, now you'll again be able to feel like an artist and actually design your Buncee further. So I'm going to move around these different graphics. Again, I'm going to resize them so that we can add this little visual. So I'm just going to try to represent this sort of island that I mentioned. So I'm going to move things around. And what you'll notice right over here is that we're adding our boat. I'm able to move things around here. But as I move things around, I actually wanted to place my boat on top of my water. As you can see that it's hidden behind the water. So on the right-hand side, you can actually change the layers of your graphics to change the order. So right here, you'll see that I added the water over here, but I actually want to put the boat on top of it. So you're going to select that boat. So you'll select it, and then you're going to drag it above the water. And you'll be able to place it right over there. So that's how you are able to actually change the layering of your graphics. Now moving further, let's go ahead and add more graphics to just represent this island that I learned about in the Philippines. So I'm going to go ahead, add some more graphics by pressing the plus sign on the right-hand side. And on every mountain or every island almost, you see a mountain. So I'm going to search mountain to be able to add a little more media to represent this. So you're going to see more search terms that relate to the mountain. So I'm going to go ahead and select some of these graphics. I'm going to go select them, drag them right in. And you'll see it's a lot of fun to actually be able to have this creative flexibility to demonstrate your learning to your teachers. So I'm going to move these different graphics around and you'll see we're going to able to resize them as we'd like. So I'm just going to move them over here. I'm going to select this mountain to rearrange it a little, but as you can tell, it's very fun to be able to put this together to demonstrate our learning for our teachers. So as we do that, I'm gonna move my mountain there, and I think it looks pretty good. So other things, let's think about how, you know, islands are designed. They have a lot of trees, grass. Let's go ahead and search for some more graphics to represent this. So we go back to the plus sign right over here, and we're gonna go, I think, add some, let's say, some trees, or actually let's add some grass. So we're going to search grass just to add a little bit more. So you'll notice that there's a little bit of a hill. Actually, I might want to add a hill to this. So there's a lot of different media that you could pick from with the search term. You could select it, of course, drag it right in. And then I'm going to add it to my little island over here on the back. And so you can see it's actually pretty fun to create this. So it's very relaxing. And again, you'll see it's blocking my boat. I didn't mean to stack this grass on top. So what I'm going to do is go to the right-hand side, like I mentioned, to change the order of my graphics. Since I want this grass to actually be behind the boat, I'm going to drag it on the right-hand side and move it right there. But it seems I actually want it behind the field that I created. So I'm going to select it again and move it behind. And yeah, so you'll see that it is very easy for us to be able to change the order of the graphics too. So now that we're feeling artistic, I'm starting to feel that we are going to an island that we're researching. And like I mentioned earlier, on our island, we tend to have trees. We have, let's say, villages that are there. And at the same time, in the Philippines, we have a lot of volcanoes. So I'm going to go ahead and actually add a volcano to this. So I'm going to go back to the plus sign over here and search volcano. And let's see a volcano that we like. So we have a few different options here. I like how this one looks. You could preview different animations. So one of the nice things on Buncee is that there's a lot of different interactive animations that you could pull from. And then you're going to add this volcano here. I think I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to resize it again. And so now my island has an active volcano, which is not necessarily where you want to spend your day in. But I'm going to place my volcano here anyway. We're going to put it in the background. So I'm going to reorder my graphics again so that it's not in the foreground. And nice. Now you'll see I'm just going to resize it a little. And I now have a volcano in the background of my island. So let's add some villagers to our island since we're thinking about sustainability and we want to be able to figure out ways to innovate this island that we have in the Philippines. So what I'm going to do is finally add some last touches here. So we're going to go to the plus sign. Let's search for a hut. So in the Philippines, we have a lot of huts in the rural area. So these are where a lot of villagers tend to live in. So I'm going to go ahead and select these huts. We're going to drag it right in and we're going to resize it. So I'm going to add, a little bit of a society in my village over here. So we're going to add a little bit of a hut and you can actually select this. And if you want to add a few more huts just so that there's, more population, you can copy by pressing Control-C, or you could press copy on the bottom and then you could press duplicate to add more of it. So it's very simple for you to actually get artistic in your classroom to, do your projects for. So now we've added some villages. Let's add some tropical trees. We're going to search trees just to bring this to a close here. And so we're going to search trees. I like these. These tend to be a little more reminiscent of what you would find on an island. So I'm going to go ahead, select them. You'll notice that they're animated too. So if you select them, let's pick all three because why not? And drag it right in. And so you can see, very fun. We're able to actually create an entire Buncee design to be able to submit our projects for. So I'm just going to move around these different trees. And yeah, with that being said, so we have a lot of different graphics, right? But what I think this is lacking is actually a background. So let's go ahead and change the background of this Buncee. So since we're in an island, I like to think of islands with sunsets. So on the bottom of your Buncee creation canvas, there's what we call an action panel. So this is where you'll be able to have the ability to change the background of your Buncee. So if you select change a background, you'll be opened up to this big library of graphics for you to be able to pick from. So you'll be able to scroll right through to see there's a lot of different, visuals to pick from. You could search the web for different images from the internet. You could change the color, you could also upload, or you could also pick from different categories if you are interested in. But since I know what I'm looking to do, I'm actually going to search a keyword again. So rather than searching from the categories, I'm going to type another keyword and press sunset or type sunset. And so I'm going to add some of these backgrounds to my Buncee creation. So again, let's take a look at some of the backgrounds that we have. All of these are really great representations. So you'll notice from the top that some of them are, digitally created, but we also have graphics that are real world graphics, of the actual sunset. So as you scroll through, there's a lot of different options for you to pick from. So you could decide like what graphic is more representative of an island that I'd like to see in my design. And so there's a lot of for you to pick from. So let me go ahead and just select one. I think I like this one. So again, we're going to select any graphics that we like, and then we're going to drop it right in. So it's always a drag and drop, very easy for you to create. And now what you've seen is we've created a very, very fun and easy sort of representation of this location around the world. And so, like we mentioned, part of the prompt, if we go back to the prompt, is that it actually, aside from designing a location around the world, we need to think about the innovation that we want to be able to bring to it and why we've also selected this area. So like I mentioned, I'm from the Philippines, so I'd love to also be able to see innovation in the Philippines, but truthfully, I'd love to be able to see innovation all across Asia and Southeast Asia. So what we're going to do is go back to the plus sign, and to respond to this prompt, I'm just going to actually add some text. So I'm going to add some text to share a little bit of why I want to, I've chosen this area as required by the prompt. So the question again was, why did I pick this area? So now that I've added my text box, I'm going to double click to be able to edit it. And I'm going to type my response. I chose the Philippines here, sorry. I chose the Philippines because I think there is a lot of opportunity to enhance various societies there, especially in the island areas. So when my computer takes another moment to load, you'll see all of the text got loaded in and was typed. And with that, you'll be able to actually then resize again all of the text. So we typed our text here. So this is to respond to the prompt. What we can do is I'm feeling like I want to make this text a little more fun. So I'm going to select the text, and on the bottom, you'll notice that there you have another action panel where you're able to actually adjust the text that you'd like. So what you can do is change the font style. So if you change the font, you have options to pick from. Let's go ahead and pick some different text that we like. I'm going to pick this one, so you could change the style of your text, of course. I'm going to make the font a little smaller, so I see the text over here. Let's go ahead and make that smaller. And then you could also change the color of your text, of course, if you'd like. But for this example, I think that, the black text font actually works. So yeah, this is how you can add other text. So now that we've responded to this prompt, there's one last question that was part of it, which is, why did we actually, aside from picking this place, what are some of the innovations that we can bring to this area, thinking about sustainability that would further enhance the society? So I think that on an island, there's a lot of opportunity to actually bring more energy, renewable energy to the area so that we could build more and more infrastructure in some of the island areas, since there tend to be a lot more remote. So what I want to do is actually represent that. So I'm going to go back to the plus sign. And like I said, I'm thinking about renewable energies as some of the innovation that we could bring to society on these islands. So I'm going to type in solar. And I want to actually add some more solar panels. So I see there's, things related to the solar system, solar, which is the sun, and you can pick the solar panels. I see some here, or I could pick any of these ones. And then I'm going to, again, just drag it right in. And what we can do is add these solar panels to our society to bring a lot more renewable, sustainable energy to the area. And this will have a lot of different benefits to the people living on the island, right? Because if you have renewable energy sources and they're a lot more consistent on an island where there's always access to sun, we can bring energy which allows our villagers to, better have better infrastructure in the area. They can also generate their own power so that maybe they could actually build more stores. They can also better support their agriculture. So energy brings a lot of opportunities. So I want to bring this innovation of solar panels to the island area, just like the prompt required us to think about. So now I've added some more innovation to the society. The last thing I want to do is actually reflect. So going back to the prompt, I've added the solar panels. I just want to share with my teacher why I chose this again. So what I want to do is on the graphic here, I'm going to record my own audio. So we'll see if this works because I'm sharing my screen already. But in any case, when you select the graphic on the bottom, you'll see again that action panel that I've emphasized before. You can record your own audio into it. And when you do, what will happen is that you'll see this ability to record it. We'll give it a moment to see if it loads when we're sharing our screen. Since I'm already sharing my audio, it sometimes doesn't show up. But in any case, you could actually add your own audio to reflect on, why you've chosen these innovations to bring to the society that you want to innovate. So it's not loading yet. So what I'll do is X this out, but you could record your own audio. If you'd like, you can actually even record your own video, which is the popular way for a lot of students to be able to represent their understanding. But with that, as you could see, this is how easy it is to actually respond to that postcard challenge that we talked about earlier in the session. So this is my entire project itself. So we've been able to show how to actually put these different media together to respond to the challenge. Now I'll go back to it. So if you go back to the challenge, right, it says postcard challenge destination anywhere. As part of the challenge, you were requested to, tell the story of an area, design a Buncee of the location you chose, which is exactly what we did. We included why did you pick this area to research about? And then what we needed to do was think about, some of the innovation that we'd like to be reflected in that area. And in our example for this session, we showcased how renewable energy can make an impact for the societies that are living in different island areas, whether they're fishermen or whether they're the local villagers. We thought that solar energy can actually make a big difference to help them build a stronger, better infrastructure in their area. And so now that we've created this Buncee, what we just need to do is get connected with our teacher. So once you respond to this challenge, all you need to do is connect with your teacher to submit your project on your behalf. So you're going to ask your teacher to create a Buncee board where they're able to add your Buncee that you create for this challenge into it. And all they need to do is go to this link. So it's bit.ly/Buncee challenge submission. Again, that's bit.ly/Buncee challenge submission. And what we'll be able to do is once your teacher submits your Buncee creation to it, at the end of the month, we'll be able to pick a winner, and your teacher or your class might be entered to be able to win different gift cards to be able to support your classroom this year. And so do partake in this challenge. It was very simple for us to be able to create it. And so, yeah, that's how you create your Buncee. Now let's think about how to use it as part of our classroom instruction, right? So I'm going to go back to the Buncee that we just created. And let's go ahead and learn how to actually share this Buncee out, whether you're doing it online, offline, or even directly to Microsoft Teams. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go back and add to preview the Buncee that we just created. So I'm going to go ahead and press preview. We need to add a title. So let's go ahead and say Philippines in this one. We're going to add a title, press done. And now we'll finally be able to view the entire Buncee that we just created. So I'm pretty excited. It looks pretty good, very simple. As you can see, there's a lot of creative flexibility for you to represent your understanding, whether you want to create like a digital story, in this case, an island, or about a research that you're doing for your class, and at the same time be able to submit this to your teacher. So it's a lot more engaging for you to do in your class. All right, so now that we've previewed the Buncee that we just created, let's go take a look at how to share this in particular with your teachers and in particular with Microsoft Teams. So on the top right-hand side of your Buncee, you will see the ability to share your Buncee out. That's represented by an orange button. What you're going to do is select that orange button, and you're going to see all of the different ways to share your Buncee. So there's a lot of different ways. First of all, you can change the privacy of your Buncee. So like I said, depending on what you're creating, you can actually pick and choose whether you want it to be public to all of your friends, to your teachers, or you can actually keep it private to yourself. So you could select the privacy setting for your Buncee. You can make it commentable. So this is great if you want to share it with your friends to be able to leave comments, give feedback to one another's work. You can also make it copyable, which means that if you want to make it as a template and add copies to it, you can also add copies to it. Other things that you can do to share your Buncee out is, of course, you could share it as a URL. So you could take the link of your Buncee, that's the same one right on the top of your browser, and share this with your friends. If you happen to have a blog like some of our students do, some of our students actually use the embed code to embed it onto their own blog site. Especially if you have SharePoint, this is another way that you can actually share your Buncees. You could share it with other Buncee users, you could share it to a Buncee board, you could email it. So if you want to send it to your teacher, you could send it as an email to them, or let's go to the social side. So you can also share it on social media too. So there's a lot of different ways that you can share your Buncee. So here you'll see you could share it to Facebook, Twitter. If you're proud of your work and you want to be able to share it out with your friends, you could do so. You can also share it to Microsoft Teams. So we're going to go back to this soon after, but there's a lot of different ways for you to be able to share your Buncees online. But lastly, of course, you could still share your Buncees for offline access. So if you want to create it as a PDF, you can totally do so. All you need to do is download it right over here by pressing this button. Or if you want to download it as an image, let's say that you want to actually create a Buncee and use it as a background for your Microsoft Teams call with your teachers, you can also download it as an image and upload it too. So you'll be able to do that by clicking this image right over here, and that will automatically download your Buncee image. So that being said, let's learn how to use this Buncee that we've created in Microsoft Teams. So going back to the social tab, what you can do is actually share this Buncee as a project, as a project submission to your teacher by pressing Microsoft Teams. So when you select on Microsoft Teams, you'll notice that there's a pop-up that shows up here. And it's going to ask us for a little bit of information to share to Microsoft Teams. So for those of us that are part of a class with our teacher in Microsoft Teams, you'll actually be able to share your Buncees as part of a channel or as part of a class or as a submission to your teachers. So what you can do is identify the class that you'd like to submit your work to or to share it with your peers. So you go to Share To, and you're going to search for the class that you have. So I'm going to search my demo class. And so you'll notice right over here that I have a Buncee demo class. If I select that one, I'll be able to pick the class that I'd like to share my work with. So I want to share it again with my peers. And then I could add some text to it. So it says, say something about this. So I'm going to share some text for my peers to be able to see. Hey, everyone, check out the research project that I just put together on Buncee about the Philippines. I'd love to hear your input. So we're going to put some text together, and now what will happen is that once we do that, we can actually just press share. And what this will do is take your Buncee, share it to Microsoft Teams so that your peers can actually see all of the awesome work that you created on Buncee. So you're going to press share. And awesome, now the link, our Buncee link, has been shared into Microsoft Teams. And so let's take a look at how that looks. So I'm going to go open up Microsoft Teams right over here. And so what you'll see over here is that we have shared that same Buncee that we just created into Microsoft Teams. So you'll see the text that we typed is over here, but at the same time, you can reopen the entire link and view this entire project. But again, your peers can also now engage and actually share their thoughts, their feedback in Microsoft Teams to the work that you've done. So feel free to actually create your projects, share it with your peers in Microsoft Teams, and they'll be able to share their thoughts on all the awesome work that you've learned and represented in your Buncee. So as you know, what you can do aside from this is also leave comments on people's work. So I also want to highlight that we integrate with Microsoft Teams where you're able to add Buncee messages. So this was an awesome project. So let's say that we want to leave a reply to our peers' work. What you'll see is that on the bottom of your Microsoft Teams options, that there's a little bit of a Buncee icon. So if you search for the little B, this is the Buncee message. You can actually find different fun, quirky Buncee messages that you can use to leave comments onto your peers' work. So it's a very fun way for you to, share your thoughts, your feedback on everyone's work. So there's a lot of different positive messages, especially if you want to compliment, the work that your peers are doing. So I see like there's fun, cute ones. So I'm going to select some. So all of these are different Buncee messages that are pre-made, and you could send this as like compliments to your peers' project. So nice work, let's say, and you'll send it right over there. And now you'll see it's very fun for you to be able to also reply. So this is one of the other integrations that you can use Buncee with Microsoft Teams for. Now, last few things that I want to highlight is that depending on the settings of your classroom, you can also pin your Buncees as tabs into your Microsoft Teams chat channel or your class, meaning that if you want to be able to highlight some of the work and make it a focus for your other peers to be able to see, you can actually add it as a tab in your Microsoft Teams class. So I'm going to pull the URL of the Buncee. Actually, I have it right over here, so I'm just going to copy the link here. And so what you'll notice is that on every channel or class in Microsoft Teams, you could press the plus sign. And what you'll do is once you press that plus sign, you'll find the Buncee icon, or you could search Buncee on the top if you don't see it immediately. And you're going to select on Buncee. And you're going to go ahead, you'll see this pop-up show up, and you're just going to paste the URL of that Buncee. And so you'll see that the Buncee pastes right over here, and all you have to do is press on save. And once you press save, now it will be saved in your Microsoft Teams class. And so now it will be pinned here. So what's great about this is that if you want to be able to showcase your work, or your teacher would like to showcase your work, the awesome work that you're doing, you can actually pin your Buncee right over here. So it's very accessible. It doesn't get lost in a Teams channel. So, as everyone leaves different comments, it'll all be accessible right on the top. And so you could go back to the chats right over here, or you could go back to the tab to be able to re-access it. So very intuitive in that sense. So that is how you could use Buncee with Microsoft Teams in a few different ways, but I want to highlight some other quick things that you can do with your Buncee account. So just to bring this to a close, let's go back to our Buncee dashboard. So as we go back to our Buncee dashboard, this is what my account looks like. So what you'll notice on the top is that right over here is a Microsoft Teams icon. I just want to highlight that as you create your projects and your lessons, you might still want to get connected with your teachers or be able to reach out to them. And so your teachers can actually set up different Teams meetings with you right within your Buncee account, and you'll be able to find all of those meeting links right over here. So that's a really handy tool, especially as you look to get connected with your teachers online. Last other things is that going back to the account over here is that if you're still looking for inspiration beyond creating for the postcard challenge of what to do with Buncee, a lot of our students are going to Ideas Lab to find more ideas of what to create or get creative with. So if you go click on Ideas Lab, this will open up a big library of amazing ideas contributed by other folks in the Buncee community around the world. And so you'll see different projects that you can actually do at home if you'd like to partake in self-paced learning. And so you'll be able to see different projects. You could scroll through to see, some activities that you might want to do on your own if you're learning by yourself or with your friends virtually. So you could go ahead and search through the different activities. You could click on some of them. You'll be able to preview the activity, see if you'd like to do it yourself. So you'll be able to read a little bit more. So some of our kids like to, of course, do story maps where they're able to talk a little bit more about, the characters, the settings, the genre of the book that they're reading, and analyze it. But once you click on an idea, you can actually create it with a template. So you could press create this and you'll be able to edit this activity directly in your own Buncee account. So Ideas Lab, I'm just going to exit this example here, is a great way for you to find more templates, more ideas, more inspiration that if you're looking to have a little more fun with Buncee, aside from, creating for the postcard challenge. So this is another resource for you to take advantage of. Now, last few things that I want to highlight is going back to our Buncee account. So we're going to go back to the dashboard right over here. And so again, this is our Buncee account, but other things to keep in mind is that we want to be able to encourage you to have fun as you're learning. So you'll notice that on every part of your screen, there's this little yellow ribbon that you could click on. If you click on this yellow ribbon, what you'll notice is that you have a gamification capability right within Buncee. So as you get started with creating your Buncees, just know that you are going to get rewards for it. So you can unlock mystery rewards as well as badges to be able to share out with your families, with your teachers, or even create with them on your own Buncee account. So as you create your Buncees, depending on if you create and maintain a daily streak or a weekly streak of creativity, you can unlock different mystery animations. So this happens to be one of the animations I recently unlocked, but you'll be able to unlock all of these different animations and actually create your own Buncees with them. So there's a lot of mystery animations to get to unlock. So you'll notice that there's 96, and currently I've unlocked 45 of them. So again, depending on what creativity streak you'd like to maintain, whether you're creating a Buncee every day or at least once a week, you'll be able to unlock different animations that you can create with. But in addition to that, there are other opportunities for you to unlock other badges. So I'm going to go ahead and press the badge section over here so you can view all of the badges that you can unlock. But the badges is a great way for you to be able to also earn recognition for the amazing projects you're about to create in your class using Buncee for. So depending on how many Buncees you create, how much you engage in discussion in the Buncee platform, or whether you submit your assignments on time or in a row to your teacher, you'll be able to win a reward for that. So I highly encourage you to start getting creative on your Buncee account, get started using the postcard challenge that we highlighted, and you'll be able to unlock all of these different fun and creative ways to, create on Buncee. And so this is a little bit more about the Buncee platform, how you could create a Buncee. But last thing I want to highlight is that thinking past this session. So let's say that you've learned a lot now, but you're looking for more ideas or understanding of how to do this later. What you can do, of course, is visit the Lima, or you could go ahead to the bottom of the screen to actually press the little B icon that is here. When you press this little B icon, this will take you to our resource center, which will give you all of the different guides that you might need to, get started with your Buncee account or learn how to create your Buncees. So you'll be able to access help resources, the step-by-step tutorials. If there's other live training events, you could find those, as well as see some of the information of what's new in Buncee. Some of which is that if you are an augmented reality person, we also just recently launched augmented reality on the iOS app as well. So you'll be able to see all of these resources on this bottom right-hand side of my screen. And so with that being said, before I draw us to an official close, I'm just going to go back, pull up the little Buncee postcard challenge here and remind you all to submit to this challenge now that we've learned how to create for it. So again, get connected with your teacher, create your response to the different prompts. I'm going to go back to this. So again, these are the different prompts. There's 3 parts to it. One is to pick a location around the world, share why you are interested to research more about it and what you've learned about it. The second one is to also then design that area. So we happen in this example to actually design about an island area in the Philippines. So you're going to design that on your Buncee. And lastly, you're going to think about that innovation that you'd like to bring to that area and thinking about it in the context of the Sustainable Development Goals and see how you can actually bring innovation to that area to maybe make it a lot more sustainable, especially in the future. And so once you've responded to all of these different prompts on your Buncee, you can have one or multiple pages on your Buncee, by the way. But once you've added your responses to all of these different prompts, again, you're going to get connected with your teacher, have your teacher put together the submission, and share it with us on bit.ly/Buncee challenge submission. So that's bit.ly/Buncee challenge submission. And then your class will be entered into the potential to win a gift card to support your students, to support your classroom and your peers. And with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions. If you're interested to get in touch, feel free to reach out to me. But with that, I'm going to pass it back to our moderator here, Fadzli, to let me know if there's any questions that I can help respond to. So thank you again, everyone, for tuning into this.
Okay, Ida, we have 3 questions.
All right.
The first one is from Anonymous. Okay, can I create this interactive Buncee using my phone, or I need to use the laptop?
So there is. So depending on if you have the Buncee iOS app, you'll be able to create your Buncees on your phone. Otherwise, for the full experience, I recommend using a tablet device at least, or your laptop. Otherwise, any Buncee can be viewed on a phone.
Okay, the second question is also from Anonymous. Okay, if I don't have any internet access, can I create this Buncee?
So right now, to create a Buncee, because of all of the interactive components like the videos, etc., you do need internet access. However, if depending on, if you get connected online somewhere, of course, you could still access your Buncee for offline to view, depending if you download it as an image or as a PDF, and that gets shared with you.
Okay, so the third question also from Anonymous. Okay, is the use of Buncee graphic subject to copyright if used for teaching materials or educational studies and shared publicly?
Yeah, so anything that you create on Buncee, share on Buncee, that's your ability. You can use it as you'd like.
Okay, that's all. Questions for today. So if you have any question, if you have any more question, you can drop your question inside the Q&A section. Okay, so we reach at the end our session for today. Okay, so we have lucky draw for today's participant, but only for the students. Okay, let me share my screen first. Okay. Okay, so kepada murid-murid yang menyertai sesi pada hari ini, okay, saya akan buat pusingan, okay, menggunakan wheel of fortune ni, wheel of names ni. Okay, kepada yang terpilih, sila tuliskan saya pemenang di ruangan Q&A. Okay, jika anda tidak respon, okay, saya akan tukarkan pemenang yang lain. Okay, so okay, let's spin for the first round. Okay, let's see. Okay, the first winner is Michael Undang anak Colin. Okay, so Michael, sila tuliskan saya pemenang di ruangan Q&A. Okay. Okay. Let wait for a moment. Okay, if you are the lucky winner, please. Okay, right. I'm the winner inside the Q&A. Okay. We are going to choose 5 lucky winners for today. Okay, Michael, are you there? We are going to wait for another 30 seconds. If we don't have any response, I will spin another round. Okay, Michael Unggang anak Colin. Are you there? Okay, so tak ada respon. Saya akan remove Michael dan kita akan pilih pemenang seterusnya. Okay. Okay. Next one is Nur Maisarah Darwisha binti Muhammad Faisal. Okay, Nur Maisarah. Okay, Nur Maisarah boleh respon di ruangan Q&A. Saya pemenang. Okay, nanti para pemenang akan menerima bag daripada pihak Microsoft. Okay, the lucky winners for today will receive a backpack from Microsoft. Okay. Nur Maisarah Darwisha. Okay, please respond in the Q&A. Please respond, I'm the winner ataupun saya pemenang. Okay, still no response yet. Okay, kita tunggu sekejap. Sebabnya live event ni dia delay. Okay, we have the lucky winner. Here, Maisarah Darwisha. Okay, congratulations. Okay. Okay, cikgu remove. Okay, untuk seterusnya. Okay, pemenang kedua kita tengok siapa? Okay, second is Aina Husna Muhammad Nazar. Okay. Okay, our next lucky winner is Nur Aina Husna. Nur Aina Husna binti Muhammad Nazar. Okay, boleh respon di bahagian Q&A. Saya pemenang. Okay, or you can respond, I'm the winner inside the Q&A section. Okay, let's wait for a moment. Yes, we have the response. Aina Husna, congratulations. Okay, so we are going to search for the third one. Muhammad Fatislah Lamumba. Okay, this is my student from SK Taman Bukit Indah. Okay, Hana, where are you? Hana, tuliskan saya pemenang di ruangan Q&A. Okay, let's wait for a moment. Okay, Hana Humaira. Okay, so we have the response from Hana Humaira. Okay, congratulations. We have already got 3 winners. Okay. So far we have 3 girls for the winner. Okay. Okay, the 4th winner. Okay, so Karina, please respond in the Q&A section. I'm the winner or saya pemenang. So I think this is also my students, Nur Karina from SK Taman Bukina, I think. Okay, so let's wait for a moment. Okey, kepada adik Nur Karina, okey, sila respon di ruangan Q&A. Okey, kalau tak ada, nanti kita pilih pemenang yang lain Okey. Kita tunggu sekejap lagi, kalau tak ada, kita remove. Okey, adik Karina, jika ada, okey. Sila respon di ruangan Q&A jika anda seorang pemenang. Okey, so memandangkan tak ada respon, okey, kita remove. Okey, kita cari lagi. Okey, ada tak Khaira Balkis?
Okay, I think we have one person.
Okay, we just got the response from Karina, I think. Okay, so this is the last winner lah. Okay, Khaira. Khaira, boleh respon Khaira Balkis?
Yeah, I think there's also a new message. But anonymous.
Okay, so
should be there.
yes. So we already have the 5th winner. So 5 je kan hari ni?
5 je.
Okay. So para pemenang nanti akan menerima email daripada Microsoft, okay, untuk confirmation. So nanti hadiah akan dipostkan dalam masa lebih kurang 1 bulan lah. Okay, nanti Microsoft Partners akan hantarkan hadiah tersebut ke alamat yang telah diberikan dalam attendance form tersebut. Okay, so setakat itu saja untuk hari ini. Okay, that's all for today. Okay, Ida, can you open your camera first? Okay.